Hello, everybody. Set up my chat here real quick. Okay. Is my volume working? I don't know. Hello. There is working. Okay. I just needed to make sure. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But now, okay. I am going to be waiting for a second to see if some people join in. But until then, I am going to be rating Pokemon based off of their Pokédex entries. And I don't know, I've never actually read all of the Pokemon um entries, so this is going to be kind of a learning experience for me. I'm also writing down in a notebook because I'm classy that way. The Pokemon um name. So like I'm writing down like Pikachu and it's number 25 and I'm going to be putting what I'm rating next to it. That way I can kind of keep track because I don't know how far I'm going to go with the stream or how far I'm going to go with like how far I can get through. I want to get through all of them, but there's a lot to get through, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that challenge yet. So, and shrew. Okay, 28. So, still waiting for people to join. I need to get myself a camera. I need to save up some money for that, but I am broke. And I'm gonna write down some of them as I get to it. Because my hand is gonna hurt after a while. I actually haven't like written anything in forever. Okay, let's hop into it. So Bulbasaur. For some time after its birth, it uses the nutrients that are packed into the seed on its back in order to grow. Oh, and we're doing this based off of 1 through 10. So, in the real world, an animal that, hold on, my cat's being needy. Uh, I'm also doing this based off of like the real world and stuff and how dangerous it would be. Uh, that's going to affect the rating that I give it as well. So that's pretty harmless as far as a Pokédex entry. Uh, it doesn't have a very good attack. Its HP is low. It is a poison type, which is gonna affect its rating a little bit. Um, um, I'm gonna give this like a solid 7 for me personally because like, and the lowest is bad, so high numbers are good. So I'm gonna give this like a rating of 7 because it is a poison type. Um, it being so young might not be able to control its poison, stuff like that. But it seems pretty harmless. It's very light. It'd basically be like a cat. So that's a pretty good Pokédex entry. We're gonna go to Ivysaur now. The more sunlight Ivysaur bathes in, the more strength wells up in it, within it, allowing the bud on its back to grow larger. So these would have to be in like warmer climate areas, like obviously like Florida and like maybe Australia. This would be an Australian animal. I can see that. Again, it is a poison type, but it would have more control of its poison since it is older and it does understand how to use it. Um, it could still be pretty dangerous in the real world, but for the most part, I believe it would just focus on trying to get stronger with the bud on its back. So I'm gonna give that a 7 as well. But only because it is gonna be stronger than its pre-evolutionary form. Now Venusaur is gonna be a dangerous one, so that might be a lower number. While it basks in the sun, it can convert the light into energy. Makes sense. As a result, it's more powerful in the summertime. Again, that makes sense. Um, 220 pounds. Dear Lord. Honestly, it doesn't really say if like, oh, there's female versions? I need to look at those too, apparently. It carries a seed on its back right from birth. Its body grows larger, the seed does too. I'm gonna keep my rating the same for that one, a 7, because still pretty harmless. And what's this one? The bulb on its back grows as it absorbs nutrients. The bulb gives off a pleasant aroma when it blooms. I'm gonna assume that's like to attract things like a predator. So honestly, that might actually take its rating down. I might change that to a 6 because that's kind of a predatory move. It's a low-key predatory move, but it is a predatory move. I'm gonna take that down to a 6. And 28 pounds, that's small child. By spreading the broad petals of its flower and catching the sun's rays, its body fills with power. So, I mean, that's pretty much saying it gains strength in the summertime and stuff. I I don't know. I'd be terrified if I seen this in the real world. I'm gonna keep that as a 6 though. Okay. Now we're gonna go to Charmander. 18 pounds. So still about like a small dog. We'll say it's like the small dog size. The flame on its tail shows the strength of its life force. If Charmander is weak, the flame also burns weakly. We all know the sad story of Ash's Charmander, and we hate, hate, at least I do, his previous owner, who shall not be named. If Charmander is healthy, the flame on the tip of its tail will burn vigorously and won't go out even if it gets a bit wet. A bit, mind you. So, like, it can't just be sitting outside in the rain, obviously. Um, honestly, he's a good boy. Look at him. He's so happy. I'm gonna give him a 7. He doesn't sound dangerous on his entry. He is a fire type, but he's gonna be like a useful kind of fire type. There we go. So Charmeleon. When it swings its burning tail, the temperature around it rises higher and higher, tormenting its opponents. Okay, that's a little ominous. So right there, we're gonna start you out as a stick. Let's see what this one says. It's very hot-headed by nature, so constantly seeks opponents to battle against. If aggression will, its aggression will not be quelled if it doesn't win. And that's worrisome, especially since you're like probably the weight of like a 5, 6 year old, maybe like 4 or 5 year old, possibly. Um, so you could go after small children. Um, that's gonna take you down even more. I'm gonna say probably a 4, because no one likes an anger management issue. Charizard, almost 200 pounds. If Charizard becomes truly angered, the flame at the tip of its tail burns in a light blue shade, which makes sense because light blue, like you've probably heard or seen of blue fire. It's extremely hot. Like it's hotter than normal fire. So, it uses its wings to fly sky high. The more experience it gains in battle, the greater the temperature at which its flames burn. So it sounds like it can control its anger versus when it was a Charmeleon. So it is going to go back up to like maybe a 5 or a 6. Um, but how easy is it to trigger this Pokemon is the question. Special attack, special defense. I'm gonna say I don't know how easy it is to anger, but I'm gonna say a 6 because it can just fly away. However, with this Pokemon, it is a very egotistical almost Pokemon, so I don't see it flying away from battle anytime soon. Squirtle! After birth, its back swells and hardens into a shell. It sprays a potent foam from its mouth. So its shell is basically its flesh beforehand. Is that what that was? And the potent foam. It's not going to be poisonous, which is good, and it weighs about the size of a beagle. Its shell is soft immediately after it is born. In no time at all, the shell becomes so resilient that a prodding finger will bounce right off. Okay. It sounds harmless. Like, it does not sound like it's immediately going to kill things. So I'm going to take this boy up to a 9, and it's not getting the 10 because of the potent foam from its mouth. That is legit the only reason. Hi, welcome to the stream. Wartortle. Wartortle's long furry tail is a symbol of longevity, so this Pokemon is quite popular among older people. I didn't know that. I thought it was like supposed to represent like the sea or something like that. What's the other one say? It often hides in water to stalk unwary prey while swimming quickly. It moves its ears to maintain balance. Mm, Okay, but is it aware of like what is prey and what is not prey? That's the thing, because it is the size of probably like a 6-year-old. So if there's a child near the water, I don't know. I'm gonna say an 8 on that one. Blastoise. It deliberately I cannot speak. It deliberately increases its body weight so it can withstand the recoil of the water jet it fires. Okay, so it has the cognitive ability to understand it is a powerful being. That right there, to me, sets it up as a very intelligent Pokemon. It has jet nozzles on its shell. This impressive Pokemon uses these jets to charge toward foes with all the force of a rocket. So, I'm not even going to question on if it knows what's a friend or foe because of the fact it knows its own strength and it knows it needs to get stronger itself. I'm going to put this one at an 8 too because yes, it is dangerous, but the fact that it has the intelligence, to me, that right there lets me know that it is not purposely going to try to harm unless it is provoked. Now, little Caterpie. For protection, it releases a horrible stench from the antenna on its head to drive away enemies. That's pretty harmless, so it's a lot shorter than I thought. Which one's a lot shorter? The height of the Caterpie? Hi, awkward, by the way. Uh, yeah, it's only a foot tall. Um, it's pretty harmless as far as the stench. That doesn't really like harm anybody, so it's still gonna stay a high number. Its short feet are tipped with suction pads that enable it to tirelessly climb slopes and walls. Again, pretty harmless. Blastoise? How tall is Blastoise? It's only I'm taller than Blastoise. Dear Lord. This pegs another question. Hold on. How tall is Ash Ketchum? Ash is 4'7". How tall is the average 10-year-old? How tall is the average 10-year-old? 10-year-old boy. I need feet, people. Feet. I am 5'1" is the average. Ash Ketchum is below average. Dear Lord. I learned something new. Okay, back to Caterpie. That's actually insane. I didn't know Ash Ketchum was that tall. So, for Caterpie, I'm gonna say a 10. Caterpie is the first 10 that I am rating. So cute though, even though he's a little bugger. Metapod. It is waiting for the moment to evolve. At this stage, it can only harden, so it remains motionless to avoid attack. Pretty harmless. Again, really doesn't do anything. Even though it's encased in a sturdy shell, the body inside is tender. It can't withstand a harsh attack. So, since it doesn't really do anything, it doesn't even give off an odor or anything. It only hardens. The poor thing. I'm gonna give you a 10 too, because you're, no offense, but you're kind of useless. But then it evolves into a beautiful Butterfree. And Butterfree, 70 pounds? What are you eating? How many bugs? You were. How heavy is Metapod? 21. You gained 50 pounds by evolving. I do not envy you. Okay. Um, it loves the nectar of flowers and can locate flower patches that have even tiny amounts of pollen. Okay, so you're basically like a little searcher. It loves the nectar of flowers and can locate flower patches. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna get another 10. You're a pretty good Pokemon in the real world. Weedle. Beware of the sharp stinger on its head. It hides in grass and bushes where it eats leaves. So it can't be a 10 because it has sharp objects on it. I don't want to say a 9 either because of the fact I don't know. What's this one say? Oh, same thing. Okay. I might give it an 8. Yeah, I might give it an 8 because it might not be able to differentiate on who to attack and who not to attack. A Kakuna, able to move only slightly. When endangered, it may stick out its stinger and poison its enemies. So, unlike Metapod, this one actually does something. Able to move only slightly. Okay. So, because you can poison enemies and things, I'm gonna give you a 7. Beedrill is a menace. Have you seen the way it acts in the show? Oh my gosh. It has 3 poisonous stingers on its forelegs and its tail. They are used to jab its enemies repeatedly. So right there, I'm gonna knock you down to a 6 because you're also a poison. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 6 because people can get away from you. It's just extremely hard. The little Pidgey. Very docile. If attacked, it will often kick up sand to protect itself rather than fight back. So right there, you're already a good boy at a 10. What's this one say? We're getting into like a lot of the same ones now. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do a 10 because Pidgey doesn't actually like actively try to attack. It's very passive. Pidgeotto is full of vitality. It constantly flies around its large territory in search of prey. Understandable. Um, it doesn't say whether or not it is also I mean, full of vitality. It might look for a fight, but it also could just mean that it will fight back if it is attacked. I'm gonna do an 8 for you. Pidgeot. This Pokemon flies at Mach 2 speed, seeking prey. Its large talons are feared as wicked weapons. So right there, you're gonna be at like a 7. How fast is Mach 2? Holy cow. That is faster than I've ever gone. Fast as fluff, boy. That's what that is. That's a fast boy. Did I give you a rating? I'm gonna say I can't remember if I gave it a rating, but I'm gonna say like a 7. Yeah, wow. He's Sonic. Um, will chew on anything with its fangs. If you see one, you can be certain that 40 more live in the area. So he bringing the squad. He bringing the whole squad. Uh, I know why he chews on anything with his fangs is because the fangs will grow. It's like a hamster. Hamsters have to chew on things to keep their teeth from um growing too much because unfortunately that's what happens. So I get it. It's more of a self-care. So by itself, a Rattata it's just like a chihuahua. Like it just has attitude. That's all. But the fact that it wants to pull its whole crew up and start some fights, that's gonna knock it down to like 7. Because 40 of them, have you played D&D? I have, and I've gone against ratlings. They are not fun. They just keep coming. They swarm you. Uh, Raticate, its hind feet are webbed. They act as flippers so it can swim in rivers and hunt for prey. Okay. And I'm assuming it gnaws on things too, because this does look like a hamster. You can't tell me that Eradicate don't look like a giant hamster. I it doesn't say anything about pulling up with the crew, so I'm gonna assume these ones, I mean, yeah, might have some friends with them, but for the most part, they might be individualized. I'm gonna give you an 8. Yeah, you get an 8. A Spiro, inept at flying high. However, it can fly around very fast to protect its territory. And I mean, self-defense doesn't really. Lots of birds have self-defense things that they do. Geese, have you ever gone up next to a geese? It's they're not happy campers, especially if they got their chicks with them. I'm gonna give you a 7 because I'm comparing you to a goose now. That's what I'm comparing you to. A Fearow is a Pokemon that dates back many years. If it senses danger, it flies high and away instantly. Okay, so you're a passive boy. So because you're passive, I'm actually gonna give you hmm, I'm gonna give you a 10 because you don't like conflict, which is fine. Ekans. It can freely detach its jaw to swallow large prey whole. It can become too heavy to move, however. Just like a regular snake, which, by the way, spelled backwards, is Ekans. So that's fun. Very common sight in grasslands and such. It flicks its tongue in and out to sense danger in its surroundings. And it has a little like shaker on its tail, so I don't it is poisonous. So it's not going to get a 10 and it's not going to get a 9 because of the fact it can unhinge its jaw to eat its prey. It is 6'7", weighing 15 pounds. So let's compare this to a child. That would be a toddler, basically. It could eat a toddler. So you're gonna get knocked down another point. Um, let's go 6. I think that's fair. Arbok. 11 foot 6 inches. You need to not. 143 pounds? Dear Lord, you've been eating too many toddlers. The pattern on its belly appears to be a frightening face. Weak foes will flee just at the sight of the pattern. This Pokemon is very tenacious. Once it targets its prey, it won't give up the chase no matter how far the prey goes. Okay, so that is kind of dangerous, to be honest, because it can eat more than a small child. It can eat full-grown adults. It can eat two full-grown adults, probably. Um, I'm gonna give you a 4. Just because, like, it would be like maybe a 5 or a 6, but the fact you don't give up and you will follow them no matter how far they go. Yeah, I'm getting out of there and away and changing my name. When it is Pikachu, by the way, when it is angered, it immediately discharges the energy stored in the pouches of its cheeks. How easy is it to anger you, though? I mean, you are a foot tall. You weigh the size of a chihuahua. I'm kidding, a chihuahua probably only weighs 5 pounds. You weigh the size of my cat. Um, this one say. When several of these Pokemons gather, their electricity can build and cause lightning storms. That's kind of dangerous. Not gonna lie. Is several in this case like 3 or 4 of them, or is several in this case like you gotta get like a significant amount, like maybe like 40 or 50 of them? Mm, I'm gonna do a 6. Yeah, I'm gonna do 6. Raichu. Its tail discharges electricity into the ground, protecting it from getting shocked. Okay, so you're a conductor, basically. You're 66 pounds and you only gained a foot? Are you telling me you gained 50 pounds by adding a foot to you? Um, the electric pouches in its cheeks become fully charged. Both ears will stand straight up. You are a conductor. You're like a battery in itself. It doesn't say that you get angered easy though, and it doesn't say that you'll like discharge all that energy. So you're a little higher up than Pikachu. I'm gonna give you a 7. Sandshrew. It digs deep burrows to live in. When in danger, it rolls up its body to withstand attack. So you're another passive boy. No matter how high a place it falls from, this Pokemon can save itself by rolling into a ball and bouncing. So you're a buoyant passive boy. That puts you. I don't know how dangerous that would be. It doesn't seem very dangerous. You are 26 pounds though, so like you can't control where you roll or bounce to. So what if like there's people at the bottom of the mountain? You're like a boulder. You're a mouse category? I did not peg you for a mouse. I'm gonna go a 9. Just because you like can't actually control where you roll to, but you are passive. Sandslash. It is adept in attacking with the spines on its back. Okay, so you're not passive at all. Its sharp claws while quickly scurrying about. The spikes on its body are made up of its hardened hide. It rolls up and attacks foes with its spikes. So you're gonna go down a little bit. You're gonna be like a 7. And actually, you have a pretty decent attack on you. I might make you a 6. Yeah, we're gonna change you to a 6. Nidoran. Okay, so for a Nidoran, the females are more sensitive to smells than males. While foraging, they'll use their whiskers to check wind direction and stay downwind of predators. Okay, so they're smart. Um, it uses its hard incisor teeth to crush and eat berries. The tip of a female Nidoran's horn is a bit more rounded than the tip of a male's horn. So it doesn't, I mean, it tries to act, I mean, I understand it doesn't want to be eaten, so I mean, it is it is a poison type, which I mean, I can't say that for all poison types, because not all poison types have like the poison on the outside of their body, so. I'm gonna go, it is a herbivore too, because it eats berries. I'm gonna go with a 9. That seems fair. So a Nidorina. I need to write this down too. The horn on its head has atrophied. It's thought that this happens so Nidorina's children won't get poked while their mother is feeding them. Okay. If the group is threatened, these Pokémon will band together to assault enemies with a chorus of ultrasonic waves. That can impair someone's hearing. Um, and I wonder how many would be in a group. It doesn't have a very good attack. Hmm. I'm gonna say an 8. Yeah, I'm gonna say an 8. And if you guys think differently on like any of these, feel free to like chime in. It does not bother me. You might bring up a point that I might not think about that might change the rating. Nidoqueen is better at defense than offense. With scales like armor, this Pokemon will shield its children from any kind of attack. That's nice. That is a mother right there. It pacifies offspring by placing them in the gaps between the spines on its back. The spines will never secrete poison while young are present. So I'm assuming it also won't attack. It's gonna be like the geese again. So like geese won't necessarily attack you. I've walked by geese. I've literally looked one in the beak and been like, fuck you, and kept walking. Like it's basically a personal space issue with them. And I'm assuming it's the same thing with these. They will only be triggered if like they have their young around, which is understandable. So, I mean, they're still dangerous, but I'm gonna give it an 8 because honestly, it's not like they're purposefully trying to um hurt anybody. So, for a Nidoran, the horn on a male Nidoran's forehead contains a powerful poison, automatically knocked down. This is a very cautious Pokemon, always straining its large ears. Okay, so even though you got a poisoned horn, you're not like just using it willy-nilly. Small but brave, this Pokemon will hold its ground and even risk its life in battle to protect the female it's friendly with. It's friendly with. Um, okay, so man knows how to be a gentleman and risk his life, and girl knows how to freaking save the kids. So tag team that. Um, the fact that it's willing to risk its life means it's dedicated. Does it understand what truly is a danger and what isn't, though? I mean, I know if it's getting attacked by other Pokemon, yes, but what happens if you're just walking by it? It did say it's cautious, and I'm assuming because it's straining its large ears, it's not gonna outright attack. It might like hide in the bushes or something like that. So I'm gonna give you a 7, and only because of the fact that you do have a poisonous horn. A Nidorino with its horn that's harder than diamond. This Pokemon goes around shattering boulders as it searches for a moonstone. It's nervous and quick to act aggressively. Okay, so you're knocked down to like a 7 automatically because you got a poison horn too. The potency of its poison increases along with the level of adrenaline produced in its body. So the more scared and afraid it is, basically, the more dangerous it is. And it's quick to act aggressively. So even walking by this could trigger it. I'm going to give you a 5. Actually, looking back, because Arbok has a 4 and Charmeleon has a 4 too. You're a little more dangerous than that. I'm going to give you a 3 because you are out there, my guy. When it goes on a rampage, Nidoking is impossible to control, so you're absolutely insane. But in the presence of a Nidoqueen it's lived with for a long time, Nidoking calms down. So my guy has anger management issues. Um, is there poison still in its horn? I'm assuming. Nidoking prides itself on its strength. It's forceful and spirited in battle, making use of its thick tail and diamond-crushing horn. Ooh. Bye, Awkward. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Um, this is more dangerous than Nidorino. Like, I might actually give this a 1. Just because I honestly, it'd be a menace to society. Okay, gotta write some. Can I go? Oh no, that's not what I. Well, I wanted this, but I didn't want to. Okay, so I need to write down these. Clefairy, Clefable, my cute little Vulpix, Ninetales, and we're gonna go. I'm only gonna write a few down at a time, but still. I'll go down to Zubat and Golbat. Okay, so for Clefairy. On nights with a full moon, Clefairy gather from all over and dance. Bathing in moonlight makes them float. I've seen that. It's cute, different. Uh, the surrounding area is enveloped in an abnormal magnetic field. So, for people who want to go experience this, I would say not to bring anything magnetic. Um, it doesn't seem that dangerous, to be honest. So, it doesn't say that it will run away or anything like that. I'm gonna give it a 9. Clefable. Said to live in quiet, remote mountains, this type of fairy has a strong aversion to being seen. So it actively tries not to be looked at then. It has an acute sense of hearing. It can easily hear a pin being dropped nearly 1,100 yards away. So because this is such a hermit Pokemon, I'm going to give it a 10. Now on to Vulpix. If it is attacked by an enemy that is stronger than itself, it feigns injury to fool the enemy and escapes. Yeah, that sounds like me. As its body grows larger, its 6 warm tails become more beautiful with a more luxurious coat of fur. So, it doesn't have a very strong attack. It is a bit heftier. It's like a small dog. I mean, it's a fox, so I guess, yeah, like a fox. It will fight back. So I might say like a 7 or an 8 because it does, like, the thing is, it could just run away automatically, but instead it wants to play trickery. I'm gonna go with a 7 because deception. Some legends claim that each of its 9 tails, I should probably say that. For Ninetales, some legends claim that each of its 9 tails has its own unique type of special mystical power. It has 9 long tails and fur that gleams gold. It is said to live for 1,000 years. And another unique fact about the 9 tails, the way that they have to evolve, I don't want to like make it wrong. So, okay, so yeah, I also thought it could be evolved with friendship, but I was wrong. Um, but it is a loyal Pokemon too. It will, excuse me, I yawned. Uh, I have heard that a Ninetales will not seek out another owner after its first partner dies. It is a very powerful Pokemon. It's also a very wise Pokemon because it can live so long. It's not a very heavy Pokemon or a tall one either. Um, I don't know how dangerous it would be. I guess it depends on the life it lived. But I'm gonna say for Ninetales, it's probably gonna be a 7. Sorry, I'm looking at my text messages. Okay, for Jigglypuff. When its huge eyes waver, it sings a mysteriously soothing melody that lures its enemies to sleep. If it inflates to sing a lullaby, it can perform longer and cause sure drowsiness in its audience. I don't think it's harmful. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, I thought that said 121 pounds to begin with. It's not harmful. It's not trying to purposefully hurt anybody. But I do know it does get upset when people fall asleep to its singing. I personally would wear earplugs with this Pokemon. Um, it's not really dangerous. I'd say it's probably a 9 because it can just make you like pass out. So for Wigglytuff, it has a very fine fur. Take care not to make it angry or it may inflate steadily and hit with a body slam. Oh, so you're a big boy. The rich, fluffy fur that covers its body feels so good that anyone who feels it can't stop touching it. Hmm. I want to say I don't know how easy it is to anger, but I want to say you're gonna be like a 8. Okay, Zubat. It emits ultrasonic waves from its mouth to check its surroundings. Even in tight caves, Zubat flies around with skill. Zubats live in caves down where the sun's light won't reach. In the morning, they gather together to keep each other warm as they sleep. So, unless you're in a cave, you won't run into these too much. Uh, for those of you who understand, running into a Zubat constantly is so annoying. Oh my gosh. You can't take 2 steps in a cave without coming across this creature. They're not particularly powerful. They're not like super dangerous. Um, the only thing is they're supersonic. And that's really for them to see. You're just in the way. That's how I see it. But it still could be pretty dangerous. Um, I'm gonna give you an 8 for hearing loss. You would have to wear headphones or earplugs or something like that in a cave. For a Golbat, it loves to drink other creatures' blood. It's said that if it finds others of its kind going hungry, it sometimes shares the blood it's gathered. That's not creepy at all. I think we're starting to get into the creepiness now. Its feet are tiny, but this Pokemon walks skillfully. It sneaks up on sleeping prey before sinking in its fangs and slurping up blood. Considering how you were just shy of being my height and you weigh 121 pounds, what do you consider prey? Anything with blood, or do you just, you got your morals, your anything? Um, I'm gonna say a 6. Don't fall asleep in caves. That's all I gotta say. A little oddish. So for oddish, its scientific name is Odium wanderus. It is said to cover distances as far as 1,000 feet when night falls, walking on its two roots. Those are roots? I thought those were I thought those were feet. Huh, the more you know. When it is woken by moonlight, it wanders about, but during day it stays still underground. So this is gonna be a 10 because it doesn't really do anything to humans. Like it doesn't try to actively seek anything out. It doesn't try to attack. It doesn't try to do any of that good stuff. So you're gonna be a 10. Gloom. The fluid that oozes from its mouth isn't drool. It is a nectar that is used to attract prey. Hmm. It secretes a sticky, drool-like nectar. Though sweet, it smells too repulsive to get very close. So wait a minute. If it smells gross, how is it going to attract prey? Like, that confuses me, but okay. Um, I'm gonna give you a 9. Okay, so for Vileplume, the bud bursts into a bloom with a bang. Then it starts scattering allergenic poisonous pollen. Can you control this or not? That is going to be because you're knocked down to an 8. It's friendly, it's it fiendishly scatters allergen pollen from its petals, which are the largest in the world. So you can control it. That's gonna knock you down to a 7. And the fact that it says fiendishly makes it a 6. I'm getting kind of hungry. I gotta figure out what to eat. Uh, for Paris, I need to write down. Okay. Paris burrows under the ground to gnaw on tree roots. The mushrooms on its back absorb most of the nutrition. Okay. So it doesn't say whether you're passive, aggressive, like seeking out fights or anything like that. I'm gonna give you a 9 because you're an herbivore. Parasect. The bug host is drained of energy by the mushroom on its back. The mushroom appears to do all the thinking. Cool. The bug host is drained of energy. Okay, I'm gonna knock you down to an 8 because can that affect humans? And can that possibly affect other Pokemon? So we're at Venonat. I need to go get something to eat real quick. Hold on. I need a snack. I don't know what I have to snack on though. I don't have a lot. I have taquitos, I think. I can eat taquitos. Let me see. Do I have? I do have taquitos. Ho, ho, ho. And because I'm lazy and don't want to do dishes, I'm gonna heat them up on a paper plate. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way. I am doing this honestly because I got into I don't know, a Pokemon kick, I guess. Like, I need to play the games again. I have Arceus and I have, Scarlet, I do believe. So it's not like I don't have Pokemon games. I also used to play the old games a lot too. I believe I played Crystal. It was the one with Suicune. I think that was Crystal. So I need ranch. There we go. Because you can't have taquitos without ranch. I got a minute for those. I'm gonna come back and read these. Gotta walk from one side of my trailer to the other side of my trailer. Ugh, work. Okay. Venonat. Poison oozes from all over its body. It catches small bug Pokemon at night that are attracted by light. So people can't touch you. I'm gonna say that knocks you down to like a 7, even though you're not a carnivore. Its eyes act as radar, enabling it to be active in darkness. The eyes can also shoot powerful beams. I'm assuming that goes along with the attracted by light thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do a 7 because you don't sound terrifying, but you do sound like you cannot be petted and you look like you need to just be petted. For Venomoth, the wings are covered with dust-like scales. Every time it flaps its wings, it loses high toxic dust. Now, I know you can't control that, but that's going to knock you down to a 7. When it attacks, it flaps its large wings violently to scatter its poison powder all around. Um, I'm actually going to say a 6 because how highly provoked are you? Okay, now we're getting into Diglett. I should probably go get my taquitos now. Let me write this down. My taquitos. Oh yeah, they're done. Ugh, I need a clean. Oh yeah, smell them. Grab my ranch and run back into the room. I'm not really gonna run. If I run, I might drop my taquitos. Okay, set my phone back up so I can see. Get my taquitos in front of me. Add the ranch to the plate, yummy. And then dive right in. Okay, put that away. Okay, so for Dove Trio, it lives about 1 yard underground where it feeds on plant roots. So it stays away from people, and it is an herbivore. It sometimes appears above ground. Its skin is very thin. If it is exposed to light, its blood heats up, causing it to grow weak. Okay, so it tries to actively. It's like a mole. Oh, it's the category is mole. Good job, Marlena. Um, I'm gonna say you're a 10. You're not really dangerous, so, and you can't like, even if you're above ground, you're not super powerful. You're really weak. Yeah, we're gonna go with a 10. Oh, hot. Okay, I need to let these cool down. I'm sorry if you hear me smacking. So for Doug Trito, its three heads bob separately up and down to loosen the soil nearby, making it easier for it to burrow. Okay. In battle, it digs through the ground and strikes the unsuspecting foe from an unexpected direction. That makes sense, but what doesn't make sense is why it would try to fight anyway if it gets weak above ground. So I'm gonna go with a 9. Because how often are you attacking things? I mean, you're not as weak. Meow. That's right. We all love meow. Right this. Um, for Meowth, all it does is sleep during the daytime, like every other cat. Not that surprising. At night, it patrols its territory with its eyes aglow, like every other cat. It loves things that sparkle, like I do. When it sees a shiny object, the gold coin on its head shines too. Oh, that's different. Hmm. I'm gonna say a 9. Okay. So for a Persian, sorry, I'm writing down the names. Although its fur has many admirers, it is tough to raise as a pet because of its fickle meanness. Then how does Giadelli have one? Probably because he's just as mean. It has a vicious temperament. Okay, so you're automatically knocked down to like, you were knocked down to maybe a 7, 8. Here you're knocked down to like a 6. Beware if it raises its tail straight up. This is a signal it is about to pounce and bite. Yeah, you're gonna be like a 6. Spider. It is constantly racked by a headache. The poor thing. When the headache turns intense, it begins using mysterious powers. If its chronic headaches peak, it may exhibit odd powers. It seems unable to recall such an episode. So I know it cannot control it, and I know if it gets too stressed out, it also makes the headache worse. Um, I'm gonna go with a 7 because it is unknown when it will basically explode, and it is unknown when, like, what power it will use. So I'm gonna make that a 7. Hi, welcome to the stream. We're rating Pokemon. Golduck. When it swims at full speed using its long, webbed feet limbs, its forehead somehow begins to glow. It swims gracefully along on the quiet, slow-moving rivers and lakes of which it's fond. Does it say anything about easily distempered? I mean, it has a decent attack. Because I don't know its temperament, and it is quite a taller Pokemon with a significant weight. I'm gonna say it's not gonna like swim away from a fight. It is gonna protect its home because they use the word fond. I'm gonna put you at a 7 as well. That just feels right. Mankey. So for Mankey, it lives in groups in the treetops. If it loses sight of its group, it becomes infuriated by its loneliness. And I do know Mankeys are very easily perturbed, I want to say. I don't really know how to describe it. Um, but they are very social creatures. It's extremely quick to anger, so you're gonna get knocked down significantly. Probably to a 6. It could be docile. It could be docile one moment, then thrashing away the next instant. So you're gonna get knocked down to a 5 because you are unpredictable, and that is one of the worst things to do. Let's see if you kind of mellow out as a primate. For a primate, it becomes wildly furious if it even senses someone looking at it. No, you get angrier. How's that possible? It chases anyone that meets its glare. Good thing it's not a trainer on the freaking sidewalk just walking by. Some researchers theorize that primate remains angry even when inside a Pokeball. Man, you need some Xanax. You need to calm yourself down. You need to go meditate. Um, Honestly, I'm gonna put you at a 4. No, even more than that, because you can't even look at you. I'm gonna do a 1. Yeah, I'm gonna do a 1. Next, Growlithe. So a Growlithe it has a brave and trustworthy nature. It fearlessly stands up to bigger and stronger foes. Okay. Is it easy to anger? It's very friendly and faithful to people. It will try to repel enemies by barking and biting. So he's a good boy. He's just a good boy. That's all he is. Um, can he differentiate who is an enemy? That's gonna be important. If he can, he's a 10. Or if he can't, I'm gonna put him at a 9. Okay. Arcanine. Look at him. Look at that face. It's so cute. Arcanine is an ancient picture scroll shows that people were captivated by its movements as it ran through prairies. It's a legendary too. It's magnificent. magnificent bark conveys a sense of majesty. Anyone hearing it can't help but grovel before it. Interesting. I'm gonna put this. Oh, its ability is intimidate though. Mm. I'm gonna put this at a 9 as well. Um, but definitely still a good boy. Definitely still. Okay. Poliwag. He looks so sad though. Look at that face. I just want to smush him. I gotta write this down. Poliwhirl is next. I'm keeping track of what I'm rating them just in case I forget or like I need to reference another Pokemon. Okay, so Poliwag. The swirl in its belly is its insides showing through the skin. That's disgusting. It appears more clearly after Poliwag eats. Its legs are newly grown and it can't walk very well. It seems to prefer swimming through the water instead. Understandable, you're a tadpole. A tadpole that is 27 pounds. Oh my gosh, you a big one. Uh, not a dangerous creature, just a little unsettling with its insides being shown. I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, I'm still eating my Takis too. Um, my taquitos, not Takis, two different things. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say a 9. We're gonna keep that. Poliwhirl. Its two legs are well developed. Even though it can live on the ground, it prefers living in the water. I get that. It's your home. You've been there. You still got a swirl in your stomach, so insides. Its skin is moist all over its body. The skin on its belly spiral also feels smooth. Hmm, body lumpy. Uh, it's not really saying anything on its demeanor, like whether or not it is. I don't know. Its abilities don't give me any indication either. I'm gonna say you're an 8 just because of the fact you are a bit bigger. And I'm assuming territory might come into play. We'll find out with Poliwrath. Looks alone. You're dangerous. Although it's skilled in a style of dynamic swimming that uses all its muscles, for some reason it lives on dry land. So you wanted a change of scenery. It can use its well-developed arms and legs to run on the surface of the water for a split second, like Jesus. Again, abilities don't really give me anything. 119 pounds. You are up there, my guy, but you are a fighting type. Wait, let me go see what Poliwhirl. Okay, so because of your fighting type nature, I'm gonna say you are a little more aggressive. I'm gonna put you at a 7. Yeah, that's what that's what I think. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the magic trio as I have deemed them, the Abracadabra and Alakazam. So for Abra, I know that Abra is a passive Pokemon as well. This Pokemon uses its psychic powers while it sleeps. The contents of Abra's dreams affect the powers that the Pokemon wields. I didn't know that. That's different. Abra can teleport in its sleep. I know that because it's a pain in the rear to catch in the games. Apparently, the more deeply Abra sleeps, the further its teleportations go. Interesting. That's why I can never find one. Um, the only thing that is a little unpredictable about it, which is going to knock it down, is the fact that you don't know what it's dreaming and the dreams affect the powers that the Pokemon wield. So it could be dreaming about anything. Possibilities are endless out there. So I'm going to knock it down to a 9 just because of unpredictability. Now we're going to go to Kadabra. For Kadabra, using its psychic powers, Kadabra levitates as it sleeps. It uses its springy tail as a pillow. That's cute. This Pokemon's telekinesis is immensely powerful. To prepare for evolution, Kadabra stores up psychic energy in the star on its forehead. So does that mean that it actively tries not to use its psychic abilities and stuff? I mean, it does have inner focus and synchronize for its abilities. It's not super powerful either. I'm going to say that this is a 9 as well. I don't think it would try to purposely deplete its psychic abilities in unless it was like a life or death situation kind of because it seems like it wants to evolve. So I'm going to put you at a 9. Now, for my final trick, Alakazam. It has an incredibly high level of intelligence. Some say Alakazam remembers everything that ever happened to it from birth till death. That is interesting. You a beefy boy for 4'11". Alakazam wields potent psychic powers. It's said that this Pokemon uses these powers to create the spoons it holds. That would make sense because when you look at Kadabra, it only has one spoon. Let me show you. See? So having the two spoons all of a sudden, it would make sense that it would basically create it. Um, since it has high intelligence, it knows basically good and bad. It has its own thought process as well. It knows enemies, it knows friends. I'm actually gonna put you at an 8 only because knowledge is power as well, and you are a very strong Pokemon, but you're a very smart Pokemon. So, Matchup. I'm gonna stop writing down the names and I'm just gonna put the Pokédex number. That's easier because it's kind of annoying just writing them down to keep track. Um, for Matchup, its whole body is composed of muscles, just like us. Even though it's the size of a human child, it can hurl 100 grown-ups. So do not let this toddler throw a temper tantrum. Always brimming with power, it passes time by lifting boulders. That's your time passer project. I'm doing so makes it even stronger. Oh my gosh. And I love how its abilities is guts no guard. Um, you are actually kind of dangerous. So I'm gonna put you at a 5. Because can you control your strength? That's an interesting thought to have. Machoke. Its muscular body is so powerful it must wear a power save belt to be able to regulate its motions. So you need help to control your own strength. That is gonna knock you down significantly to like a 7. Its formidable body never gets tired. It helps people by doing work such as moving of heavy goods. So you're not an aggressive Pokemon. You're just massively strong. It's- I'm gonna keep you at a 7 because you can control your strength. My champ. 4 arms. If you understand that, you and me are now best friends. It punches with its 4 arms at blinding speed. It can launch 1,000 punches in 2 seconds. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna. How fast would you have to be to punch 1,000 times in 2 seconds? Oh, I just wanted the answer. I didn't actually want to do math for it. Oh, the world may never know. Um, that's incredibly fast. It can knock a train flying with a punch. A punch can send a train flying. However, it is terrible at delicate work using its fingers. So you're just a musclehead. That is all you are. Um, I want to say you are between Matchop and Matchoke. I want to put you at a 6 because you could easily, accidentally hurt somebody without trying to. I actually kind of want to put you at a 5. I'm going to put you at a 5 because you can't do anything delicate. So now we're into Bellsprout. No matter what Bellsprout is doing, if it detects movement nearby, it will immediately react by reaching out with its thin vines. So it's not even going to run away. It's going to immediately try to attack. That's going to knock it down because what if it's just like a kid walking by? It plants its feet deeply underground to rehydrate itself. While doing so, it's unable to run away if it's attacked. You're actually decently strong, but you're like not very good at you're strong with attacks. You're not very strong with health. You are part poison. I want to put you at an 8 because you also only weigh like 9 pounds. Like someone could just punt you. Like just kick you across the field. And you're not very tall either. So you're not deadly. And the poison, I'm assuming, is like your mouth. So it's not like you're like super dangerous. Weeping Bow. Even though it's filled with acid, it does not melt because it also oozes a protective fluid. Okay, so you a little more dangerous. So you're gonna get knocked down to like a 7 right now. The leafy parts act as cutters for slashing foes, down to a 6. It spits a fluid that dissolves everything. Oh my gosh, you're a 5 because you actually, I mean, can you differentiate friend and foe? That's another question. It's decently strong. I'm gonna keep it at a 5. Victory Bell. Isn't Victory Bell the one that kept trying to like eat James basically? I mean, I know several of his Pokemon did carnivore, I think, and then Cacnea, a couple of them. Victory Bell. It lures prey into its mouth with a nectar-like aroma. The helpless prey is melted with a dissolving fluid. You're absolutely dangerous. You're down to a 6. After dissolving many prey, this Pokemon's acid becomes sweeter. This makes it even easier to attract more prey. Your whole goal in life is deception and eating. You're like a cat. I'm gonna put you at a 5. My taquitos are getting cold. That's sad. Okay, so for Tentacool, um, when the tide goes out, dehydrated Tentacool can be found left behind on the shore. That's sad. They're like jellyfish, so I mean, they can't exactly like get themselves back into the water. Its eyes are as transparent as crystals. From them, it shoots mysterious beams of light. Um, how powerful are we talking about for this? 100 pounds for almost 3 feet? What kind of jellyfish are you? Okay, so it's not very powerful on this liquid ooze. Is it? It is poisonous. I'm gonna put you at a 7. Yeah, I'm gonna put you at a 7. Tentacruel is a little more dangerous. Look at those pincers right there. What kind of jellyfish has pincers? So for Tentacruel, on the rare occasions that large outbreaks of Tentacruel occur, all fish Pokemon disappear from the surrounding sea. I wonder why. Um, in battle, it extends all 80 of its tentacles to entrap its opponent inside a poisonous net. So, warning, do not go swimming when there is a tentacle outbreak, because not only will the fish disappear, you will disappear. No one wants you to disappear. That is, I'm gonna put you at a 5. You're kind of dangerous, my guy. Geodude. At rest, it looks just like a rock. Carelessly stepping on it will make it swing its fists angry. Justified. Justified. If someone stepped on me, I would be angry too. Most people may not notice, but a closer look should reveal that there are many Geodude around. How can you notice that when they look just like a rock? So, this is more of a like, don't provoke it. Um, Toss like a little pebble. I'm gonna say 8. I'm gonna say an 8 for a Geodude. Graveler. It should be easier to. A slow walker, it rolls to move. It pays no attention to any object that happens to be in its path. So it does not give two shits what it is doing. Um, oh wait, didn't what was Sandslash? Sandslash, see, this is why I write the names down now. Sandslash was I should have done these in like Sandslash was a 6. And it did the same thing. Sandslash, I don't think Sandslash was as heavy as you though. So you might actually be knocked down to a 5. Moss-covered rocks are Graveler's favorite food. It consumes over a ton of them a day, crunching loudly while it eats. Oh my gosh, where are you finding that much moss rocks? Yeah, you're getting knocked down to a 5 only because of the fact you do not care about anything in your path. So, my friend tried to call me. Let me send her a text real quick. Stop calling me, let me text you. She's trying to call me again. Okay, Golem. For Golem, it is enclosed in a hard shell that is as rugged as slabs of rock. It sheds skin once a year to grow larger. How long do you live? He's 661 pounds. Oh my gosh. It deliberately blows itself up, then uses this explosive force to jump from mountain to mountain. Good thing it has sturdy. Um, Honestly, you might be a 5 as well. Yeah, you're gonna be a 5 as well. Oh, it didn't move. There we go. Okay, so next is Ponyta. About an hour after birth, Ponyta's fiery mane and tail grow out, giving the Pokemon an impressive appearance. Okay, that's pretty normal. For this one, its legs grow strong while it chases after its parents. It runs all day in fields and on mountains. My legs would go pretty strong after that too. I'm gonna give you an 8. Only because can your fire catch those fields on fire? Rapidash. It gallops at nearly 150 miles per hour, not nearly as fast as Pidgeot, with its mane blazing ferociously. It races as if it were an arrow. Do you at least slow down for your child? It has outstanding acceleration from a standstill. It can reach top speeds within 10 steps. This horse is on fire. And its ability is run away. So I'm assuming you're not aggressive. You are a little more dangerous than your child, and are you easily provoked if you have your child with you? I might put you at a 7. For Slowpoke, it is incredibly slow and dopey. It takes 5 seconds for it to feel pain when under attack. It's not, I mean, it makes sense. It's not instantaneous. It has slow in the name. So, it's always vacantly lost in thought, but no one knows what it's thinking about. It is good at fishing with its tail, and its tail is apparently a delicacy as well. You're not a threat to anybody. I'm gonna give you a 10. Slowbro. When a slowpoke went hunting in the sea, its tail was bitten by a shelder. That made it evolve into a slowbro. If the tail-biting shelder is thrown off in a harsh battle, this Pokémon reverts to being an ordinary slowpoke. So, my question. Okay, so Slowbro is 5'3". You're 3'11". Do you just grow and shrink as you please? Like, or do you stay 5'3"? You're still pretty, I don't know. You are a little more dangerous. I'm gonna go with a 9 because you're honestly not that big of a threat. So I feel like a 9 is fair. You are stronger. Let me see. 4. You're not by much though. Okay, yeah, you're not a very big threat. So Magnemite is 81. The electromagnetic waves emitted by the units at the sides of its head expel anti-gravity, which allows it to float. Okay. It moves while constantly hovering. It discharges electromagnetic waves and so on from the units at the sides. So you're more of a, like, I don't know, a menace? More like? Because you don't intentionally harm people. You just harm like electronic things. So you're not really like it's just who you are, really. I'm gonna say an 8 because you can cause cities to have power outages. For Magneton, 3 Magnemite are linked by a strong magnetic force. Erupt, earaches. Oh, ear. I'm not good at English. Earaches will occur if you get too close. They're formed by several Magnemite linked together. They frequently appear when sunspots flare up. So are the sunspots the cause of the magneton? And can these be separated just like Slowpoke? Because if they can be separated just like Slowpoke, then they can just go back to Magnemite. I mean, they are technically three Magnemite. I'm gonna put Magneton at an 8 as well. Farfetch'd. It can't live without the stock it holds. That's why it defends the stock from attackers with its life. I mean, it can live without it. It just needs to find a new one. Um, it's it is strong. It's a strong Pokemon. It reminds me of like a Kung Fu, and it's a duck, which is related to goose. I'm gonna put you at a 7. And can you differentiate friend and foe? That's another good question. For Doduo, its twin heads have exactly the same genes and battle in perfect sync with each other. Its heads never sleep at the same time. Each one takes a turn keeping watch while the other sleeps, switching every hour or so. So they're just like siblings sharing the same body. It doesn't seem like it's dangerous. I do know they do tend to try to stick in like herds. I don't know if they're dangerous though. They look like kiwi birds though. Have you ever seen a kiwi bird? Look at that. They look like kiwi birds. You cannot tell me that is not just a single-headed dodo. That's what I would call it. I would call it a dodo, not a doduo, a dodo. But it's just a little kiwi bird. Okay. I'm gonna give you a 9. Dotrio, it now has 3 hearts and 3 sets of lungs. Though it can't run as fast as Doduo, Dodrio can keep running for longer stretches of time. The strongest head with the thickest neck becomes the leader and gains primary control of the body. Damn. So the other two are just along for the ride. It is a runaway. It's very strong. I'm gonna put you at an 8 because you are a little more intelligent. Now we're gonna go to Seal. For Seal, the protrusion on its head is very hard. It's used for bashing through thick ice. Um, it probably can also be used to attack. The colder it gets, the better it feels. It joyfully swims around oceans so cold they are filled with floating ice. It's not very strong, and it looks like it's a passive Pokemon. I'm gonna give it an 8. Dugong. It sleeps under shallow ocean waters during the day, then looks for food at night when it gets colder. It is stronger. Since it hunts at night, it is nocturnal, and it's mostly a predatory animal. Still has the thing on its head. I'm gonna put you at a 7. And yeah. I'm gonna keep you at a 7. For Grimer, born from sludge, these Pokemon now gather in polluted places and increase the bacteria in their bodies. When two of these Pokemon's bodies combine together, new poisons are created. So you don't want to see this Pokemon, basically, because you're in a very toxic environment. Um, I I'm gonna say a 5. Because one, if you're in a toxic environment and you see one of these, it's bad. If you see two of them and they're creating another poison, that's double bad. So I'm gonna put you at a 5 for Muck. It's thickly covered with a filthy, vile sludge. It's so toxic, even its footprint contains poison. And the fact that you have sticky hold doesn't help either. It's so stinky. Muck's body contains toxic elements, and any plant with it when will wilt when it passes by. You're gonna go at a 3. Actually, no. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna put Grimer at a 3 and a Muck at a 1. It's just really dangerous. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I don't know why I did that. For a shelter, it is encased in a shell that is harder than diamond inside, however surprisingly tender. It's just a clam. That's all. They don't look dangerous. I mean, the most I can see happening is the shell clamping down, clamping onto it, an opponent reveals its vulnerable parts, so it uses this move only as a last resort. Understandable. So Shelder, I'm gonna do a 9 because he doesn't seem like he would want to battle. For Cloyster, they live in seas with harsh tidal currents growing large sharp spikes on their shells. When attacked, it launches its spikes quick volleys. Innards have never been seen. You're a little more dangerous and a little more aggressive. I'm gonna put you at a 7. And we're gonna go to Ghastly. So for Ghastly, it wraps its opponents in its gas-like body, slowly weakening its prey by poisoning it through the skin. And Ghastlies are ghosts. Um, I've also heard people say that they are Pokemon ghosts. I I don't I don't like ghosts. So the fact that it's a poison ghost too, and it likes to do that, concerning. Its body's made of gas. Despite lacking substance, it can envelop an opponent of any size and cause suffocation. I'm gonna put you at a 5. Hunter. A hunter likes to lurk in the dark and tap shoulders with a gaseous hand. Its touch causes endless shuddering. In total darkness, where nothing is visible, Haunter lurks silently stalking its next victim. Here's the thing. I know it's a poison type, but I don't think its body is made of poison. So if it touches you, I don't think you're gonna be poisoned. So it's not as bad as Ghastly, where it can literally like pass through you. I'm gonna say a 6. because it's still pretty dangerous. For Gengar, to steal the life of its target, it slips into the prey's shadow and silently waits for an opportunity. Hiding in people's shadows at night, it absorbs their heat. The chill it causes makes the victims shake. I do also know Gengar is a prankster. Um, I I gotta go with a 5 on this one too. Onyx. Hi, Titan. I'm almost done with the stream anyway. I'm gonna stop at 100. Um, I got some friends coming. Well, not friends. My brother's coming over. We're gonna go to the library soon. So, but hi, thanks for stopping by again. For Onyx, as it digs through the ground, it absorbs many hard objects. This is what makes its body so solid. Understandable. It rapidly bores through the ground at 50 miles an hour by squirming and twisting its massive red body. I know that they are territory types as well, so that makes them very aggressive. I'm gonna put you, especially with your height and your weight, you're extreme. Bye, bye, Titan. You're extremely dangerous. I'm gonna put Onyx at a 3 because it is mostly territorial. Now, drowsy. Uh, it remembers every dream it eats. It rarely eats the dreams of adults because children are much tastier. I will say kids do have more imagination. They have more life in them. So I get it, but at the same time, creepy. What's the other one say? When it twitches its nose, it can tell where someone is sleeping and what that person is dreaming about. It can smell you. It can smell your dreams. It can literally track you in your sleep. Mm, you're gonna be a 4. Hypno. When it locks eyes with an enemy, it will use a mix of psi moves such as hypnosis and confusion, always holding a pendulum that it swings at a steady rhythm. It causes drowsiness in anyone nearby. Do you have to look at the pendulum to um fall asleep? That's a question. Um, I know hypnos and drowsies usually tend to work together, making you more dangerous. I'm gonna put you as a 2. Crabby. For a crabby, it can be found near the sea, and the large pincers grow back if they are torn out of their sockets. If it senses danger approaching, it cloaks itself with bubbles from its mouth so it will look bigger. So it doesn't try to run away. It is very strong, but it is not afraid to attack. So I'm gonna put you as a 4. And then for Kingler, the larger pincer has 10,000 horsepower strength. That is devastatingly strong. However, it is so heavy it is difficult to aim, so he can't even control it. I'm gonna put him as a 2. He can't do jack fucking shit with anything. Voltorb Rolls to move. If the ground is uneven, a sudden jolt from hitting a bump can cause it to explode. Usually found in power plants, easily mistaken for a Pokeball, zapped many people. So it's just dangerous on its own, and a bump can cause it to explode. You're gonna go as a 1 because I think you like to die. That's my personal opinion. I think that's gonna be it for this video, everybody. I did 100 of these things. I'm kind of tired, and my family's here. We're gonna go to the library and chill. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.